Welcome back to Ken's Rage. In this part, we're gonna say goodbye to Rei. No, seriously, we will. You see, in the last part, Rei got his pressure point struck by Raoh, and now he only has 3 days to live. And how is he gonna spend it? By fighting his rival Juda. So without further ado, let's get started with Final Sacrifice.
The Star of Death now foretold the end of Rei's life. His vital point struck by Raoh during battle, he had but 3 days to live. While fighting for his life, Rei came to realize his love for Mamiya and sought to free her from her curse. A pair of letters was engraved on Mamiya's back, marking her as a slave of Juda, one of the 6 Nanto masters. Long ago, he had killed Mamiya's parents and doomed her to a life of endless struggle. This hardship had long prevented Mamiya from finding happiness. And so, with his last ounce of strength, Rei challenged Juda. But little did he know that the Star of Death now appeared above Mamiya, too. Kenshiro, determined to protect his friends to the end, sought out Juda as well. Rei, born under the Star of Justice, was nearly out of time.
Rei, are you all right?
Until my task is complete, I cannot afford to bow to the pain. Surely you understand.
Chapter 8. Final Sacrifice.
As usual, I will show off only Kenshiro's path, as Mamiya's path in the storyline, as well as Rei's path, are pretty difficult, especially Rei's. Rei kinda got the short end of the stick on this end. Meanwhile, I'm just prepping up to prepare for Chapter 8. And the only thing I'm going to show of Mamiya and Rei is the boss battle with Juda. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Juda is, and if not, I'll tell you when the time comes. Or if the game haven't already told you by now. But here's the thing. This is the last chapter that I'm going to have to show different variations of the boss battle. Because the next 3 chapters is technically Kenshiro, and even though one chapter he shares one with Toki and Raoh, those 2 do not have the same boss battle he does. So that's just 3 chapters free of split paths for the time being. In fact, we're halfway through the game if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless, let's get started with this chapter here. Because after all, we've got to say goodbye to Rei on some terms. It's really sad to see him go, though.
Any who stand in my way.
One thing needs to be noted about this stage.
The fury of my fists.
There's going to be some time segments in this stage. Whether you're Ken or Mamiya.
There's no one I'd rather drag down to hell with me.
Now, if you're Rei,
we must hurry. I don't have much time.
Rei literally have a boss rush. I mean, mini boss rush, sorry. He's ambushed by several goons on his playthrough.
Even a single blow might be the
wow.
end for you.
Kenshiro and Mamiya will have to protect him throughout the entirety of their stage. And there will come a point that Rei will run off on his own. You will have to quickly find him before he gets killed. Because even though the mission bonuses will not give you anything for protecting Rei. The fact that you will be able to complete this game will definitely depend on Rei's survival for the time being. And I promise you, on hard, this chapter can be BS. Not gonna lie, it can be serious BS. Especially when the AI is stupid. Now then, seeing as how this escort mission is going to keep getting dangerous if we stick around here, I'm going to break that wall. And that was awesome that I broke the wall like that. I could have just beaten it up like I normally do, but that was actually pretty cool.
Through these gates lies
anyway,
town.
There's another thing about this stage that kind of ticks me off. The switches. That definitely slows things down, to say the least. And there are switches. There's going to be 3 places where there's going to be switches. That was one of them. And now we've come to a timed fight. Simply get enough to focus. Oh yeah, get enough spirit points to focus on the big boss. Or, if you could grab him, throw him into an explosive barrel. Or do this. Either way, you want to try to get this guy down as quickly as humanly possible, because you only have 1 minute to take out the commanders. And there goes the commander. Once the commander is dead, the troops will still be lingering. You can't get through until you beat up the troops.
Take out the head.
That's all you basically have to do. And once the troops are dead, there goes the door. Oh wait, never mind. There's still 2 guys here. I guess you have to take out most of them, I suppose. But nonetheless, keep an eye on Rei, because sometimes Rei will run into an ambush. And like all escort missions, seeing as how you're escorting him, he has a tendency to run ahead of you. Sure enough, that will get him killed. That's the only reason why this is really annoying on harder difficulties. Because of the fact that Rei tends to run into danger. Then again, he's determined to defeat Juda. Now for Juda, while I'm killing off goons, Juda is a narcissist. Juda only likes himself, loves himself, and anything more beautiful than him must be destroyed in his book. Funny thing, Juda actually works for Raoh. He used to work for Souther, but sold him out to Raoh. But now that Raoh is badly injured at the hands of Kenshiro and vice versa, Juda decides to take revenge for Raoh by capturing Mamiya's village. And also trying to capture Mamiya, his former slave. Funny thing, the game does not show the YD on the back of, or UD, depending on what continuity you're talking about here. I think it's UD. I'm more than sure it's UD. But depending on the continuity, Mamiya has a UD on her back and it's not shown in the game. However, it is shown in Fist of the North Star 2 Kin's Rage. No, Fist of the North Star Kin's Rage 2, sorry. Mispronounced the name. But, I mean, this kind of sound like a nitpicky subject, but it is kind of attention to details that would have made the game a little bit better. But it's still good in my book. Now, Rei ran ahead. You're trying to figure out what to do next. Instead, you're going to have to go around these crates. and find Rei fighting a bunch of goons. You see, once you go this area, you will go. Okay, go to this area. Sorry, Rei cannot go back.
Can't help but jump in.
Now, when it comes down to Rei, like I said, he will run into danger. And depending on what type of mini-boss is there, like the guy with the 2 clubs or the spear or the axe, in Mamiya's case, Rei could be in serious trouble. Eventually, you'll have to break off from Rei. But you gotta protect him until you get to that point. I think we're almost to that point too.
So you wish to fill even more unmarked graves.
So, you gotta kill off these guys in order for mention of the, in order to, okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, in order for the game to mention that there is a switch up there. You see, sometimes you know what to do after a couple of playthroughs, but the game will still not point it out until everyone's dead. That's basically how this works. Ah, come on, Rei. I know you're there. Now it's not the time for this shit. Oh! And I just want to make a correction. I just recently found out, while trying to get some skill points for Ken, that the boulder splitting wave is actually the weakness of Boss Fang, but I forgot to equip it. Oops. Anyway, now we've come here to where we're gonna have to kill off 2 commanders in a matter of a certain time limit. Now's a good time as any to show off the Heavenly Destruction. Oh, and let me point this out, and in case I forgot, I'll just refer back to this video. Heavenly Destruction is actually Souther's weakness in this game. Oh, I got the wrong one! Damn it! I guess that works, sort of. Oh, I thought you had 4 minutes. You had 2. Never mind. Stupid me. Hurdy-der. Now he's dead. Excuse me. And now we have another commander to deal with.
Is also known as the Star of Betrayal.
Damn it! Sorry about that, folks. Something got caught in my throat. Anyway, get the books into a good position. Unleash the attack. And it's definitely instant kill for most of the lesser mooks. And it's pretty powerful too.
Master Juda is far away by now.
I thought it was instant kill. Apparently that mook is still alive. He must have got out of the way of the 7 stars. Uh-oh.
I can already hear his mocking laughter.
Now, Juda is in Mamiya's village trying to reclaim his prize. Funny how Mamiya fails to mention about her past. But then again, why would you mention something disgraceful to a bunch of strangers? However, that past comes back to haunt her. Eventually, she's gonna have to say something. But nonetheless, we've just got more mooks to beat. And once you kill off the mooks, we're gonna go into yet another battle with more mooks. And I've said mooks about 5 times. The fact is, this is one of the straightforward parts. And if Kenshiro is not powerful enough to actually get through the timed mission bonuses, that's just less mission bonuses you'll have for later on. Oh, and God forbid that we come to that section after the boss fight, it's going to really hurt Kenshiro that he's weak. So it's best to go back to chapters before you come to chapter 8. Especially for this chapter, because you'll have to fend off a lot of goons in the last segment. Oh, and speaking of fending off, you're gonna have to beat these guys within a matter of minutes as well. Excuse me. You'll have to get these commanders down by knocking off the pedestals. Now, some of the commanders will actually be damaged. The heavy ones won't. They'll probably take a little bit of damage. Now, these guys actually will. But once all the goons are lined up together, it would be great to use Heavenly Destruction on them right here. Because Heavenly Destruction definitely would be a good thing right about now. Problem is, if this is your first playthrough, you won't have that available. Not until you actually go one-on-one with Souther. But as you can see here, you need something to clear off most of these goons. And once the goons are dead, well, Rei will actually go with you, but for the time being, it's best to try to kill off most goons as you can, because Rei will still be fighting them, even though they're backing off and backing away. And when your back is turned, that kind of puts you in a little bit of danger there. Uncomfortable danger, to say the least. Because if that guy's still... Because if one of those guys are still alive, they'll try to fight Rei. And chances are, they'll be unsuccessful. Or they will eventually ignore Rei. Well, actually, no. They'll eventually defeat Rei. That's what I meant to say. Or sometimes they'll ignore Rei, depending on the computer's difficulty. This is on normal anyway, so they're all backing off. But nonetheless, we're about to get into a cutscene, sorry. And with that said, you don't need to worry about babysitting Rei anymore. Now, you can just walk into Mamiya's village.
Run! Run for your lives!
Thankfully, you don't have to worry about protecting these guys. Protecting the villagers is not a part of the mission bonuses or objectives. You can just kill these guys basically for karma points. That's all you're killing them for. That was stupid. That was really, really stupid, and I've got to stop doing that. I think we're getting closer and closer to Juda. And I think I took care of most of them. Now you might want to be careful as far as Kenshiro is concerned, because if you're not going for Harbinger of Death, most of the hidden bosses you just have to explore this portion of the stage for, and you will find them. But most of the ones that aren't hidden, like for instance, for Mamiya's stage, not only will exploring happen, but if you beat up most of the mooks here, if not all of them, the boss of the mooks will actually show up, and then you'll have to beat him down too. But seeing as how I've already beaten this stage, I'm trying to, like, press on for time and continue, because cutscene and stage alone, and boss fight not to mention, by the way, this is Juda, it's a pretty long stage. However, it's shorter with Mamiya and Rei.
Your place. Only a coward would fear the pathetic Hokuto Shinken.
Oh, really? Sadly, I do not have Juda's weakness, which is Awakening of the Senses. That's because I wanted to show off the other two attacks that I had in my repertoire. But unfortunately, I might not be able to do that either. Oh god, no! Be careful, folks, because this guy fights like Shin, and he also fights like Rei in a way. In fact, he also fights like Souther, too.
You think you've won? You'll never
So,
beat me.
when it comes down to Juda, just try to use drop kicks to break his guard. Or try to use things like this. Anything that'll break Juda's guard and put him in Meridian Shock. And once he's in Meridian Shock, he's good as done. And now, we've gotten past a third of the stage. Oh, 2/4 of the stage. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Okay, 3/4. That's what I meant to say. We're not done yet. Oh no. In fact, we're far from it. Because there's a cutscene happening right about now. Well, as soon as this is done.
I will give you the miserable death you deserve.
Unfortunately, Juda will not be carrying out that wish.
Am I destined to just die?
No. There is still a way.
What?
There is one vital point that can extend your life a little. But if I press that point, the pain you feel will become many times worse. There is also a way to be free from that pain forever. Mamiya gave this to me. It is death. You must choose.
Please, Toki.
Before I begin, I must give you this. If you can bear the pain no longer, then you must swallow it. Just one vital point is able to counteract the one that Raoh pressed. Shinreidai!
It's Mamiya! She's been captured by Juda!
Well, here's a tip. that I forgot to mention during the battle. Save your healing items for after the battle. Unless you really are struggling against Juda, save your healing items for after the battle. It's the only time you'll be able to heal. For a while, I think. No, actually it is the only time you can be able to heal. So without further ado, it is time to help Rei save Mamiya from Juda. Shiny white hair and all. Unfortunately, we won't be fighting Juda again. Rei will. Kenshiro, on the other hand, has something much, much more daunting than fighting Juda. In fact, Juda is actually easier at the hands of Kenshiro than what he is with Rei and Mamiya. Trust me. He is much easier against Kenshiro.
I am the star of enchantment. Do you really think I would fight without a backup plan? What have you done, Juda? I have simply made use of this village's plentiful water supplies. You didn't. You blew up the dam.
Here is Kenshiro's daunting task. Remember I said that you're gonna need to come in with healing items? I did say that there was still healing items, and let me correct myself, actually there is, but it's best you save your healing items as Kenshiro to where you, after you beat Juda, so you can come in with Spirit already, so you'll be able to use signature moves for that spiked goon that will keep you from getting over to the water bottles, or the full jugs of water bottles that will refill your spirit meter. The thing is, you only need your spirit meter for the goons. You don't need it for the bridge. Instead, you need the girder for the bridge. But these jerks will keep respawning until you break the bridge. I mean, hell, you can throw them into the wall, too. That'll also help. But the steel girder is much faster. And when you're in the clear, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. When you're in the clear, grab the girder, continue what you were doing, and the bridge should break. You can even use the weapon to fight off the moose. And with that said, we are done with Kenshiro's portion of this chapter. Oh, and what about all this water? Does that stop the water? Does that make the battle with Rei a lot easier? No. Not at all.
Nanto Kokaku Ken Ogi Keshoshi Sho Nanto Suicho Ken Ogi Hissho Hakure. Impossible. But I will die on my own terms. Juda, I have been chasing an illusion. Chasing you and the beauty of Nanto Suichoken. Rei, the only one I ever admired. Allow me to die in your arms. Farewell, my greatest rival Juda, Star of Enchantment. It seems my time has come at last.
Rei.
Listen. Until the Star of Death claims you, live your life. And even for one moment, be a woman again. You deserve a woman's happiness. Goodbye. Stay there. You must stay. I don't want you to see me die. You must leave me my dignity. Be happy.
Rei. Rei.
Rei, I will not forget you. Like Sheen, your spirit will live on. Live on inside my heart.
Rei.
What is it, Mamiya?
It's gone. I can't see it anymore. The Star of Death has gone.
Sorry, I'm not going to be ending this chapter so easily. There is still showcasing off Rei and Mamiya's version of the fight with Juda. And speaking of which, I kind of had an early start due to the fact that I wasn't able to pause as quick as I could, because Juda is already on the attack. He will start using vicious attacks on the ground for now, but after the cutscene, and after he does this that is, we're going to be going on to the second phase of the fight, which is where his technique actually becomes more feasible. And he is sort of not joking about his techniques being stronger than Rei's in the water. He can spam any of his Nanto Fist of the Blood Crane to make the water rise up and attack Rei. And he can also spam that move as well. Just want to remind you all that most of the Nanto fighters, with the exception of Shin, Rei, and Souther, are basically a copy of Rei, Shin, and Souther. So that should not come to a surprise, and only two people does that. That's Shu and Juda. One thing that can be said, Spirit Shock is your friend. If you are in Spirit Shock, by all means, use it.
You're a laughing stock.
Now,
Your only purpose now is to make me look
whenever you see an opportunity, use it. And be careful of the falling building. That is used to impede your vision. Now, he will sometimes leave openings in his attacks. And when he does, make sure you push the Y button whenever you can. Oh, bullshit! You didn't have to turn around. Now, we're still on his third phase, so he will spam aura attacks equivalent to Souther, and he will also spam attacks that will deal damage to, no, not deal damage, but rather deal bad stats to Rei and Mamiya, but more specifically Rei. This is the one boss battle you should not take lightly. Just because Kenshiro lowered the water doesn't mean that the water there is gonna stop. And we are done with Juda. And now we've come over to Mamiya, who, unlike Rei, will have the unprecedented honor of having to fight Juda with water already on the field. So unfortunately, Mamiya's battle with Juda is much harder. From the bat, Mamiya will be subjected to Juda's Nanto Fist of the Blood Crane. Well, I can't really pronounce the name correctly, so that's what I call it. So, with this, you'll find yourself more of a victim of Juda's attacks than what you will be as Rei. But Rei has the shorter end of the stick. I didn't even mention anything about Rei. Rei actually had, well, actually I did mention Rei. Rei had a Mook Rush right before a fight with Juda, so with Rei, you had to save all of your spirit and your health pickups for your fight with Juda. Mamiya, she's got the same type of stage as Kenshiro, except she has to duck. Now, I basically used the yo-yos to counteract that Muso because Dynasty Warrior 7 logic. But nonetheless, Mamiya's weapons can definitely work in your favor. And if you start seeing a whirlpool appear in the water, make sure you try to jump before he finishes the technique. And whatever you do, Meridian Shock is your friend. And be careful of the building, because once again, that is going to be not only a distraction, but I think if the building actually lands on you, it'll deal damage to you. You can't just sit back and spam shots, because he's going to be too close to you. Oh man, I can't believe I missed that. That didn't hit him at all. And whenever he does this, he leaves himself wide open. So if he's in a position where he is in either a corner or he's in the wide open, and he tries to spring up one of those whirlpools in your general direction, and he misses, you can just attack him from behind. And I can't believe that missed too. Well, damn. Anyway, most of Mamiya's tricks would more than likely work if he doesn't block all the time, which is one of the things that Juda is notorious for. He will block. He actually will block more in this battle than what he would against Rei, which is really scary to say the least, because he tends to leave himself more wide open in that battle. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, one transcendent kick should actually finish him off depending on your stats. And with that, we're done with Juda. In the next episode, it's time for Kenshiro to go on his own and prepare to face the Holy Emperor. But first, he also gets to face an old friend. See you guys next time.